Hello my friends, welcome to the Electric Viking. Resale values on Tesla vehicles are going utterly insane. You can now buy a Tesla vehicle that is 2 years old for more money than a new one. And they're actually selling right now for more money than a new one. 2 years old. Why is this happening? Why are resale values on Tesla vehicles going through the roof? And it's not just in the United States that resale values are through the roof. It's in many countries around the world. It costs more to buy a second-hand Tesla than it does a new one. Well, there's one reason for this, and that is impatience. Many people don't want to wait for their EV. They want it now. They want their car now. They don't want to wait 6 months. And for many Tesla vehicles, especially the lower cost vehicles, the waiting lists are blowing out longer and longer and longer and longer. Now, why is this happening? Well, it's to do with what I reported earlier in the year, Tesla's chip shortage. Now, Tesla has been able to pivot to some degree around the global semiconductor chip shortage I spoke all about it in a video that I made that kind of went viral a little bit, and I'll put the video in the description below, which talks about how Tesla pivoted to deal with this chip shortage. And they've been able to handle this chip shortage better than other companies, but they've basically reached their limit. And at this point, Elon Musk has said that the reason Tesla sales are not significantly higher comes down to one thing, and that is the chip shortage. Now, unfortunately, Inside EVs reports that Tesla's constraints and delays will likely get worse before they get better. Now, Evanex, which makes and sells aftermarket Tesla vehicles and accessories, posted this article by Charles Morris, which says that Tesla's infamous waiting lists are well and truly back. For most models, if you order today, you may be lucky to see your Tesla vehicle this year. Now, Tesla, of course, is prioritizing their higher priced vehicles. So, right now, if you order in, for example, the United States, there's only a wait of 4 to 6 weeks for a performance Tesla Model 3 and 5 to 6 weeks for a performance Model X. Obviously, Tesla makes a higher margin on these vehicles, so they're prioritizing these vehicles. Now, for other models, though, estimated delivery times can be as far out as April 2022, presumably as Tesla and other automakers do when they have supply constraints. The company is putting its highest margin variants at the head of the production schedule. It just makes pure business sense, and you can understand why Tesla and other companies are doing this right now. Waiting lists have been a feature of the company's sales process for much of its history. When production of the Model S began in mid-2012, Tesla had some 10,000 pre-orders, but it didn't manage to crank the assembly line up to full speed until January 2013. At which time it triumphantly announced that the waiting time for a Model S had been cut to only 4 to 6 months. Now, guys, having more orders than you can fill may sound like a good problem to have, and it is usually, but sometimes it can cause the demise of young, small businesses. Fortunately, though, Tesla eventually made it through this valley of death and later navigated production hell with the Tesla Model 3. I don't know if you remember, but Tesla had over 400,000 pre-orders for the Tesla Model 3. And they basically went through hell, as Elon Musk says, to actually get those production numbers up. It was a big challenge for a small company to go from producing, say, 50,000 vehicles a year to hundreds of thousands of vehicles a year. Now, delivery delays are no longer an existential threat for Tesla, obviously, but they certainly aren't good news. Later delivery means later payment, and a certain number of impatient buyers are going to give up, meaning no payment at all. Well, that's possible, I think, but I would say most people that want a Tesla vehicle are pretty well sold on the brand and probably don't want anything else. I would say that probably applies to 90% of Tesla pre-orders that are in place right now. So, like I said, what is causing these delays is the same shortage of semiconductors and other parts that are plaguing every single automaker on the planet right now. Toyota was recently forced to cut its global production by 40%, and GM, Ford, and Stellantis have all announced temporary plant shutdowns. The chip supply is fundamentally the governing factor on our output, said Elon Musk in July. It is difficult for us to see how long this will last because this is out of our control, essentially. It does seem like it's getting better, but it's hard to predict. Well, a month later, it isn't getting better. It's actually getting worse. The chip shortage issue isn't moderating to the extent that the Tesla bulls had hoped, said Dan Ives, tech analyst at Wedbush Securities. And now it's not just chips. Sourcing other parts is proving problematic as well. For the rest of this year, our growth rates will be determined by the slowest part in our supply chain, said Musk. The supply issues may take a bite out of forecasts that Tesla will deliver 900,000 vehicles this year, and Ives and others believe that this is one reason TSLA stock has been moving sideways lately. Investors are focused on deliveries and rising competition in the EV space, said Ives. That's the overhang on the stock right now. And I think some of you will remember that I predicted that Tesla would sell over 1 million vehicles this year. I think it's fair to say that they would have if they could provide those vehicles. Clearly the demand is there for their vehicles. Clearly, whether you don't like Tesla or not, it doesn't matter. It's obvious that the demand is there for Tesla to sell over 1 million vehicles this year, easily over 1 million, if they could supply those cars. If you look at some of the deliveries that Tesla has made recently in countries like the UK, Norway, and other European countries, they've sent shipments to those countries, and within a matter of a week or two, the entire shipment has been spoken for. Clearly, demand exists in the market. And then look at America, the United States, and you'll see that Tesla is still selling more than 60% of the entire EV market, meaning that more than 60% of the EVs being sold in the United States right now are still Teslas. And that is in spite of the fact that all the other competition is there now, it's here, and yet Tesla still has 60% of the market. Thanks for watching the video. I'll look forward to seeing you on the next one. Bye-bye.